Hello there, and welcome to Lab 2 of the TalkIT tutorial on industrial strength applications. Now, what we're going to be doing in this one is creating our entities and repositories in our domain folder that we created last time. And so this is what we're going to be doing up to here. And if I just go back to where we left last time, so we just created domain. So now what I want to do is add two new folders. I want one to be called if I can spell it, entities, and then another folder that's going to be called repositories. Like so. Now, in the entities folder, we want to have our objects. So the information we're going to be storing on our objects, and in this case, the object's the film. So if we just go like this, add class, and we're going to simply call this film. Imaginative, I know. So add that. I'm just going to be copying my data across, like so. Yep, delete that. And okay, now what we're going to be storing is the film ID of integer type, title, blurb and genre are both going to be string, and then the rental price is of decimal. So this is the information we're going to be storing about the films. And now we need to have the data, the actual raw data that's going to be held in the repositories. But before we do that, we need to create an interface. Now, domain entities are persisted to a data source, and it's good practice for repositories to talk to a database via the use of an interface. So if I quickly add our class here for the interface. Now for the interface, I'm going to call it iFilms repository. Like so. And I'm just gonna have to copy the code across just to save some time. Like so, like that. So this is the interface that we're going to be using for when we create the dummy films repository at the moment. So obviously it's a generic list of films at the current time, and of type iFilms repository. Now what we now need to do is create the actual dummy repository, the data itself about the films. So as usual, we're going to add another class. This one I'm going to just call dummy films repository. Add. And again, I'm just going to copy the code. If you look back at the TalkIT tutorial, all the code files are up there for you, so it makes life a little bit easier when you're doing what I'm doing now. So if I just run you through this, as you can see, we're linking to the interface that we just created. We've also got, if I just do that, we've also got a reference to domain.entities, so it knows about the film objects. So as you can see, we've got a new film, we've got a title, the blurb, genre is comedy, then rental price. Go da 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 da. And what we're going to be doing is, to that interface, it's going to be returning dummy films, which is here. Okay, and I think that is all for this tutorial, and in Lab 3 we're going to do some more depth, harder techniques. So if I just quickly look, so this is defining the web application. So what we're going to be doing is getting it so the application is in a working condition, so we can actually run the application. Thank you for listening, and please carry on to Lab 3 where I'll help explain more. Thank you.